Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something really unique. We're going to be dissecting the raw data from the NBA Christmas Day games back in 2008. Just looking beyond the headlines, the hype, to see what the numbers actually tell us.
That's right. Yeah. Our mission here is basically to take these box scores, strip away all the external narratives, any assumptions, and just unearth the most important statistical highlights. We're really going to see what stories the pure data tells about, individual brilliance, team stuff, synergy, and just the mechanics of basketball on that specific holiday.
Think of it like a statistical treasure hunt, maybe, where every number holds a potential secret. We're going to unpack the top 10 statistical takeaways, basically giving you a lightning-fast shortcut to being, well, profoundly well-informed about the cold, hard facts behind these games. What truly stands out when you just let the numbers speak. Okay, let's dive in. So, diving into these Christmas Day 2008 box scores, what's the first thing that really jumps out at you when it comes to just individual offensive brilliance? Was it raw scoring or maybe something else?
Well, when you talk about sheer, unadulterated offensive firepower, one player immediately stands out. Dirk Nowitzki, Dallas Mavericks. He put up an impressive 30 points in their game against the Portland Trailblazers.
30 points.
Yeah. And look, 30 points in any NBA game is significant, but doing it on a nationally televised Christmas Day game, that's kind of a statement. It really highlights his unique ability to just generate elite offense all by himself. Really cemented his reputation, even then, as one of the league's most unguardable scorers. It wasn't just volume shooting. It was, well, a testament to his skill and his ability to just bend defenses.
Yeah, and for Dirk, hitting 30 on Christmas against a tough team like Portland really underscores that ability to perform when the lights are brightest, doesn't it? You just don't get that kind of volume without incredible shot making. But as you often point out, offensive mastery isn't just about putting up shots. It's about how efficiently those points are generated. So what does the data show us about scoring efficiency on that day? Who stands out there?
Right, you've hit on a critical point there. While Dirk had the volume, Kevin Garnett from the Boston Celtics delivered a performance that statistically was just a masterclass in efficiency. He scored 22 points, which is solid, but the remarkable part is he did it on an astonishing 11 for 14 shooting.
11 for 14. Wow.
That gives him a .786 field goal percentage, almost 80%.
Wow, that's incredible.
It really is. For a player taking 14 shots, especially forward, operating all over the floor, that's just incredibly rare. It speaks volumes about his shot selection, his finishing, his mid-range game precision. It really highlights how impactful you can be without needing tons of attempts, just making every possession count.
That's just phenomenal, like surgical precision from KG. It's the kind of performance that might not grab the headline score, but it's so valuable for a team. But okay, if we're looking for someone who truly impacted like every facet of the offense, not just scoring or efficiency, who is the statistical standout, the sort of all-around engine.
Well, when we talk about a player who really did it all and had that comprehensive impact, the game score metric is a fantastic way to look at it. It sums up their overall statistical output. And Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs, he posted an exceptional 23.9 game score.
23.9. And what does that mean contextually? Is that high?
Oh, yeah, very high. Anything above 20 is generally considered an elite performance, often like an MVP caliber game.
Yeah.
And Parker's leadership here, it isn't just about his 27 points. It's also driven by his 4 steals, tied for the most steals by anyone that day.
4 steals, too. Okay.
Exactly. So it highlights his crucial playmaking and his defensive contributions. It shows his indispensable role in just dictating the flow for the Spurs. He was a force on both ends. And game score captures that complete picture beautifully.
Tony Parker really showing that all-around game then. And you can see how that kind of performance just elevates his whole team. Now, shifting gears a bit from personal scoring, let's talk about the maybe unsung heroes of offense sometimes, the playmakers. Who was the chief architect dishing out assists and setting up teammates on Christmas Day?
That role definitely belonged to Rajon Rondo from the Boston Celtics. He led all players with 12 assists.
12 assists.
12. And for Rondo, this wasn't just passing. It was about his exceptional court vision, his ability to consistently find open guys in good spots. 12 assists really means he was the primary facilitator, driving that Celtics offense, breaking down defenses, making sure his teammates converted. His performance really highlights how one player can lift an entire offense just through smart ball distribution, selfless play, creating for others.
Yeah, 12 assists is a huge number, shows he was really running the show, speaks to, like you said, a deep understanding of his teammates. And speaking of dominating a specific area, who was absolutely owning the glass? pulling down boards, getting those crucial possessions.
On the rebounding front, Tim Duncan, San Antonio Spurs. He was simply in a league of his own that day. Pulled down a staggering 17 total rebounds.
17. Wow.
Yeah, and what's even more telling is that 14 of those were defensive rebounds.
14 defensive. Okay, that's key.
Absolutely key. It's not just volume, it's about control. Defensive rebounds, they end opponent possessions, prevent second chance points, let your team get out and run. Duncan's ability to just consistently secure the ball showcases his, well, unmatched positioning, his physical presence, and just his quiet, relentless effort. He just understood the fundamental importance of possession.
17 rebounds, 14 defensive. That's just a monster effort, isn't it? You can almost picture Duncan just methodically boxing out, silently dominating that space. Not flashy, but so effective.
Yeah.
Now, we always hear defense wins championships. So who was the ultimate defensive anchor that day? Swatting shots, making opponents think twice about driving.
When it comes to rim protection, Shaquille O'Neal, who was with the Phoenix Suns then, really illustrated his commanding presence. He recorded 4 blocks, which was the most by any player across all the games.
4 blocks for Shaq.
Yep. And beyond just the stat, Shaq's impact as a rim protector was huge. Even when he didn't block it, his sheer size, his reputation, it deterred drives, forced guys into awkward shots or kickouts. 4 blocks in a game really speaks to his continued ability to anchor defense, funnel guys towards him, and just shut down the paint, a clear indicator of his defensive impact.
That's classic Shaq, right? Just changing the geometry of the court with his presence. But defense, as you know, isn't just individual plays. It's a team thing, a collective effort. Which team really showcased defensive mastery, like just stifled their opponent with a cohesive strategy?
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the Orlando Magic's team defense was just stifling.
Yeah.
They held the New Orleans Hornets to a day low of just 68 points.
68 points? That's incredibly low.
It really is, especially in the modern NBA context, even back in '08.
Yeah.
And they recorded the lowest team defensive rating of the day at an astounding 80.5.
80.5? What does that even mean?
Well, defensive rating is points allowed per 100 possessions. Anything under 100 is considered excellent. So 80.5 means they were basically an absolute brick wall. They're forcing turnovers, forcing bad shots at an incredible rate. It really showcases a masterclass in collective D, communication, rotations, just a unified effort that completely dismantled the Hornets' offense.
Wow, that 80.5 defensive rating just screams dominance, shows a team playing as one unit on D, testament to coaching, player buy-in, everything. And speaking of team impact, are there players whose presence on the court just fundamentally elevates their team? Like, the numbers clearly show this effect.
Absolutely. And the plus-minus metric is fantastic for spotting this. Hedo Turkoglu and Dwight Howard, both from that dominant Orlando Magic team, had the highest plus-minus ratings of the day. Turkoglu was plus 28. Howard was plus 26.
Plus 28 and plus 26, that's huge.
Massive. It's not just a random number. It directly indicates that for every minute they were on the court together or individually, their team was outscoring the opponent by an incredibly significant margin. In basketball, a plus-minus like that tells you these players were the engines driving their team's success, whether it was scoring, passing, rebounding, defense. Whatever they were doing, it worked. Their synergy, their individual contributions were just pivotal to that Magic win. Shows how their presence just profoundly shaped the game's outcome.
That kind of plus-minus tells you they weren't just playing well themselves, but they were making everyone around them better, like a true force multiplier. Okay, so we've seen individual scoring standouts, stifling team defense. Let's shift back to the other side of the ball. Which team was just an offensive juggernaut that day, systematically dissecting their opponent, putting up points efficiently?
That would be the Dallas Mavericks again. Now, not only did they score the most points as a team with 102.
Right, Dirk's team.
Exactly. But they also registered the highest team offensive rating of 120.6.
120.6. An offensive rating, that's points per 100 possessions, right? So it adjusts for pace.
Precisely. It accounts for pace and efficiency, and 120.6 is exceptionally high.
Yeah.
It suggests they weren't just scoring a lot, they were doing it with remarkable efficiency for the opportunities they had. It indicates, superior shot creation, excellent ball movement, effective execution, just made them the most potent and systematically effective offense of Christmas Day 2008.
Yeah. That kind of offensive rating really shows a well-oiled machine, doesn't it? Getting good looks almost every time down. And finally, for those of us who, appreciate the drama of a really competitive game, which matchup delivered the closest, most edge-of-your-seat statistical battle? A true nail-biter, according to the numbers.
That was definitely the San Antonio Spurs versus the Phoenix Suns game. undeniably the most closely contested. It was decided by just a single point. Spurs won 91-90.
1-point game, okay.
Yeah. And while maybe the raw scoring totals don't jump out like a blowout, that 1-point margin is just a clear statistical indicator of back-and-forth struggle. It suggests, consistent lead changes, clutch plays on both ends, very little separation and overall efficiency between the two teams throughout the game. It really captures the essence of a true down-to-the-wire contest where every possession, every rebound, every stop felt magnified, and it ultimately boiled down to the slimmest possible margin.
And there you have it. A quick deep dive into the fascinating world of NBA Christmas Day 2008 box scores, from Dirk Nowitzki's explosive scoring and KG's surgical efficiency to Tony Parker's all-around brilliance and, well, the Magic's brick wall defense.
The numbers truly tell a story beyond just who won or lost, don't they?
Exactly. It really is about spotting those individual flashes, understanding the profound impact of team dynamics, and seeing how things like efficiency and all-around play can truly shape a game. Even when we're just looking at the raw data from, single days worth of games, these statistics, when you explore them properly, they offer a kind of blueprint of performance.
So what does this deep dive mean for you listening?
Well, I think it shows how even a single day of games, stripped of all the media hype and, the narratives we build up later, can reveal some profound insights. Insights into player performance, team dynamics. It kind of makes you wonder how much of our perception of a player or a team is really shaped by these underlying statistical patterns, rather than just the highlights we remember. The data is always there, waiting to reveal its own truths if you're willing to just look closely.
Keep exploring the numbers. You might just be surprised by what you discover.